You need to shut the fuck up.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Everybody, it is Tuesday, November 28th, 2017. I'm your host, Minx. We had Gray Cloud up here on video. However, due to technical shit, because I moved here recently, as you can see, there's a new background. Ooh. I don't know what I'm doing with these wires and or cables, as Red Lake pointed out that they're actually called cables. I don't know what I'm doing with them. And apparently something's all wanky and weird right now in that, shit just wasn't working right. So we gotta troubleshoot that just a little bit. Anyways, hello. Gray Cloud is here. You just can't see him. Say hello, Gray Cloud.
Hello, Gray Cloud.
Hello, Gray Cloud.
Welcome, Nation. It's another Tuesday, and we're here for some awesomeness.
Right? Yeah. So, you're stuck seeing my face tonight. Oh, and my dog. He's chilling with me tonight, too. So, he's the good one. But, yeah. Oh, my goodness. It's been a hot minute since I've done this. I kind of feel nervous and like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. It's been a while since I've broadcasted,
50-50.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking like I said, I moved. Ghost and I are splitting up, so I moved into my own place, and that's probably why it's kind of echoey right now, because the house is empty. So I've got to work on padding the walls and shit. So yeah. Hello everybody, welcome to Tied Up Tuesday. Tonight's guest is David Jordan, and he is from We Got Your Six, and they do amazing work for our homeless veterans. So they'll be on, he will be on in about an hour, and he's going to tell us all about the organization and what exactly that they do. And I can't wait to talk to them, right? I know, puppy, look at him. He's so cute. He's my old man, and he's so well behaved. He loves people. I got hot water finally. So I moved into this house. Oh my God, seriously, this has been like a week and a half long ordeal, right? So I moved into the house the weekend before Thanksgiving. So almost 2 weeks ago, right? And the breaker for the hot water would not stay on. And then my dumbass decided to test fate, and that I was like, maybe if I just tape it to where it stays on, I'll get hot water. Not thinking that maybe this could cause, an electrical fire. And I'm a dumbass. So it's taken about, about a week and a half to get someone out here to switch out the breaker. At first the landlord sent out a plumber, and I'm like, the fuck is a plumber going to do with a circuit breaker? When I turned in this work order, I clearly stated on there that, hey, this circuit breaker won't stay on, and yet you send a plumber. Okay. I thought I was the dumbass. Apparently they're not. They take the cake from that. Right? Tape is not good for that. Thanks, Spanky. Yeah, I know. I realized that after. It's Like, I think I talked to you, right, Gray Cloud, about that, and you're like, don't.
Yeah.
You were like, don't do that.
Yeah, because fires are bad. Okay.
I mean, like allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly, fires are bad.
Fires are bad. Who would want to wear an on-fire suit?
Right. So yeah. So Zeus, my dog Zeus, and I have been in this house now for a week and a half, and it's been going great. And it's awesome. Like, each room is a different fucking color, and like each hallway is a different color. And like, my house is so colorful. I'm so excited. But even better though is that like my bestie is moving in as well. She's got orders to the base that's literally right down the street. Like, it's like 3 minutes away from base. And so she got orders down here, and she moves in like 2-3 weeks, and I cannot wait to see her.
That's awesome.
Right. Hello, Holly. Nice to see you. Thanks for checking us out. Hi, everybody. Oh yeah, and I do. If you guys leave comments in there, I'll say hi, and I'll interact with you. I'll talk with you.
Eventually, we see them.
No shame. Hello, Doc. I love it when people call me Minxie. Not gonna lie, I'm like, ee.
I'm not hearing anything.
What do you mean you're not hearing anything?
No, I said I'm not here or anything.
Right? Don't worry. Aw, thanks, Doc. I tried. Right? No, I got like, so literally I live, in the same like vicinity as Spanky, which has been amazing because Spanky has been like my lifesaver, and that every time if I needed to fucking shower, which, I'm human, so I try to do that, at least every day. And then like every other day I wash my hair, right? So every time I'd go to wash my hair, I don't want to wash my hair in cold water. Like, it's hard enough washing my body in cold water. So I'd go over to Spanky's house. No, it was so bad. So bad.
Oh.
So yeah, so I've been going over to Spanky's house like every other day and being like, hey, what's up? I'm here to shower. Okay, bye. So she's been a total lifesaver. And then, but yeah, so literally like, half an hour before the show starts, like an electrician came over and he's like, all right, I'll fix. I'm like, yay. And he's like, give it a couple hours and then you'll have hot water. It's like, yes. Mostly because like I've got this huge like jetted tub and I haven't been able to use it yet. And I'm like, that is the one thing that I'm so excited to use is this fucking jetted tub. No, you don't understand, because I will be able to have my knees and my titties submerged under the water at the same goddamn time. Like, that's a big deal. Most tubs don't allow you to do that. Like, it's one or the other. Like, you gotta pick. Like, all right, do I sink down to where it's like just my head poking out, but then my legs are out? Or do I like submerge my legs, but now like here up is out of the water? And it's like, either way, this is not comfortable.
No.
See, someone out there knows. They know.
Okay. I'll concede the point.
Yeah. Like, it's a big thing, like having a deep tub where you can submerge everything at the same time. I'm so excited for. And it's got jets. It's the little things I get so excited about. But yeah, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good.
Yeah.
Stayed in place and just kind of relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
And but no, it was relaxing and low key. I made myself a frozen pizza.
Ooh.
Yeah, mostly because I was moving.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you moved too.
I did move.
That's
I literally
right.
moved to within a block of where I work.
Oh, you get to sleep in now.
Yes. In fact, my body's been like, no, we know you're within a half block of work, and you're gonna sleep.
Right? Oh my God, it's so bad. Like, I'm getting to the point where, I cannot sleep past 7:00. And I don't know why. And it's making me rather unhappy. And I'm like, I don't have kids. Like, I have a dog, which I let out in the morning. He can go 12 plus hours without using the bathroom. I know because he's done it many times. He's my old man and he loves sleeping as much as I do, as you can clearly see. And so, oh my God, it's so bad. It's like this whole weekend, like I was up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed at like 7 in the morning. I'm like, why am I awake right now? Like, I could be sleeping, but no, I'm awake. Fucking. Oh, but yeah, for Thanksgiving, I worked. I was on call, so I worked. I had to go in. So time and a half, bitches. Hell yeah, I'm so excited for this paycheck coming up on Friday. I'm so excited. But yeah, and then I worked the day after Thanksgiving. I worked a full day then as well. So yeah, it's gonna be a good paycheck. I'm super excited.
It's good.
Yeah. Oh, and then I went to oh my God. Okay, so yesterday, really quick story, right? So yesterday, I was in the podiatry room, right? Which that's where I always am on Mondays. Well, we also on Mondays we listen to 80s music because my podiatrist loves 80s music. Like he goes on an 80s themed cruise every year.
God.
And I want to go. But tickets for this thing, it's like a week-long extravaganza of nothing but 80s music. And like you can dress up in 80s fashion and like 80s icons. And I want to go so badly. But, you know, I'm poor and I'm a peasant. And tickets for this thing are like a couple $1,000s. So I need to save in order to do this. But it's in the Caribbean and I really, yes, exactly. 80s music is amazing. But anyways, so we like, you know, we've got Sirius XM in the ORs, right? And so we listen to the 80s channel. So 80s on 8, right? Well, every Monday they do a countdown for a specific year. Well, yesterday the year was 1981. So it's god awful, right? Because you still had disco in there. It was fucking yacht rock. It was terrible. Like, it's just the early 80s is just bad for music. However, like the one redeeming song on that entire playlist countdown thing was Journey's Don't Stop Believin'. Came out in 1981, which I did not realize. But yeah, so during that song, when that song came up, like we turned the music up so loud and the whole room was like belting out karaoke. It was so much fun. But then the song what really got me though was that the song immediately afterwards was fucking Neil Diamond. Like how the fuck do you go from Journey, Don't Stop Believin', where you're like, yeah, I'm just a small town girl, woo, to motherfucking Neil Diamond. We like this song came on and we're like, no, turn it back down. Like we don't want to hear this. Like no. It was not good. But yeah, and then my ortho doc was working yesterday as well, and I called him the wrong name. And it got awkward. Like I go into his room and I'm like super confidently, I'm like, hello, doctor, wrong name. And I'm like, oh. I'm just gonna leave. Right? And it's like I know his name. I work with him every Tuesday. Like I know their names, right? But like the level of awkwardness on that is as if I had shouted out the wrong name during sex. Where you're like,
no, sure that'd be worse.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Pretty sure that'd be worse.
You don't know. Like my fucking, yeah, exactly, Allison. I pretty much, I just left the room. I was like, I'm just going to kick myself out of this room right now. Because my ortho doc, like, looked at me and he raised his eyebrow and he's like, are you kidding me right now? And I'm like, I'm sorry. Okay, bye.
Oh, God.
I know. And it was great, too, because it's coming up on a year since he kicked me out of his room.
Oh, well played.
Yeah, I know, right? After doing my job for 13 years, I finally last year was able to get kicked out of an operating room. by my ortho doc, who now throws a tantrum if I'm not in his room. Yeah, he kicked me out. He's like, get the fuck out of my room. Oh, okay. Why did I get kicked out? I got kicked out for being a smartass because...
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no, I did. Like, okay, so he's a total joint stock. He hates doing any sort of like sports surgeries. So one of those would be like a knee arthroscopy, where we take a small camera, we look into your knee, see what's going on, and then we get out, right? It should literally take that long. He hates them though. And his average about an hour. So he's on the slow side with them. But again, he fucking hates them. And he didn't really get a lot of training with him. However, he is certified to do them. So he does. But yeah, so I walked into his room one day last year. And I was like, oh, hey, doc, I hear there's a high action, super exciting knee scope going on in here. And he stopped what he was doing. He's like, get the fuck out. Oh, okay, bye. So it wasn't because I contaminated anything. It was just because I was being a smartass. Worth it. I got out of the room and I started cheering. I was like, I got kicked out. But like at the time, I never worked with him, and like he kind of scared me a little, and so I was like, maybe he'll never want to work with me again, hopefully. And then I started working with him, and then it turned into, he was like, I want minks in all of my cases, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is fine. Did I get to go home early? No, I didn't. They just they told me to go into another room. So yeah.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah, right? Oh, okay. So speaking of like dumbasses, right?
Uh-oh.
Oh God, yes. So a 26-year-old Russian man earns, like, in my opinion, earns the Darwin Award of the Year. 26-year-old man died after a grenade he was handling exploded. Alexander Sasha Chikik, right? I don't know. He's fucking Russian. This Russian dude had removed the pin from a live grenade and posed for several photos with it, which he then messaged to friends. The last image, likely sent mere moments before the weapon detonated, showed the live grenade in his hand. Obviously, when the grenade went off, Sasha was killed instantly.
That's what they do.
What? So yeah,
not gonna be alive anymore.
Right. So it's not believed that he intentionally took his own life at the time of the incident, which took place in the city of Lebinsk. Lebinsk. Which is in the southwest region of Russia. And the messages accompanying the photos he sent to friends appear to support that claim. During one messaging exchange, a friend of Sasha's asked, "Where are you? Are you okay?" Sasha replied, "Depends on what okay is in your understanding." He followed the message up with a photo of the grenade in his hand without the pin in place. As reported by the Daily Mail, the Russian law enforcement believes Sasha did not think the grenade would explode in his hand, regardless if the pin was removed, as he may have thought it had to be thrown in order to detonate.
Road text comment in Mixer. Everyone went to pieces.
Right? So if everyone could please open your book of Mattis to chapter 17, verse 75. I got this from our good pal Dakota Meyer. Quote, "First shout, thou take out the holy pin. Then shout, thou count to 3. No more, no less. 3 shall be the number thou shalt count, and the number of the counting shall be 3. 4 shalt thou not count, neither count thou to 2, expecting that thou then proceed to 3. 5 is right out." Unquote. Thank you for your wise words, O Honorable Holy General Mattis. Oh
Murphy's
my-
Law of Combat. All 5-second fuses are 3 seconds.
Right.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
So bravo, Sasha, on winning this year's Darwin Award.
Oh, Lordy.
It's like, I don't know. Like they showed pictures too. They were kind of graphic. Like the only part they blurred out was where he ended was like blown in half. But you see his face and you're like, sorry,
Hopefully it
dude.
was quick at least.
No, his face. What?
Hopefully it was quick and instantaneous.
I would assume so, considering he was literally blown in half.
Mm.
So hopefully shrapnel pierced his heart. I don't know, but either way, he would have died quickly because if severed the abdominal aorta, you're gone in seconds because you'll fucking bleed out. Can you see pics? Yeah. So just if you check out Dakota Meyer's Facebook page, he's the one who shared. I got the article from. So that's where I got the quote too from the Holy Book of Mattis. True story. But yeah. They're fucking like, yay, Darwinism. Like, honestly, though, like, I really do believe that we need to bring Darwinism back as far as just remove warning labels off of everything.
Well, then it's natural selection at that point.
Exactly. Darwinism, natural selection. It fucking sorts itself out. Like, hey, I think I'm going to make toast while I'm in a bathtub. Why? Why not? Like, I want to know who the first person was who was like, I'm going to blow dry my hair while I'm still submerged in a fucking bathtub. Because that can only turn out really good. Like, I may be dumb to where I fucking, tape a breaker to the on position, but I'm not dumb to where I'm going to take something electrical into a bathtub with me. I'm a
bad.
different type of dumb.
just saying that could be bad.
Right, yeah. Chris, but the roads. That's true. The roads. Is Minx topless? No, I'm not. I just have a lot of hair. I am wearing a shirt. It is a green tank top. But yeah. They were trying to heat the water up because the hot water tank wasn't working. Good point, Allison. Very, very good point. All right. So what news articles have you found today?
There's a handful out there, but first we have to cover what's really important on Tuesday at the moment.
Oh, go on.
The CFP rankings.
That's right. Oh my God. Bama lost.
Bama lost. Woohoo!
Like it, but it's okay because it's to another SEC team, so it's okay.
And that's terrible.
Huh? How is that terrible?
All right, so Nation, if you were not paying attention at the 1900 hour, that's 7 p.m. for you civilian types. The top 10, that's all we cover is the top 10 from the CFP rankings. Mm-hmm. Number 1, Clemson.
Oh,
after drubbing South Carolina. Number 2, Auburn.
okay, yeah. Well,
Auburn.
I disagree with this only because of one thing. Because Auburn has beaten
losses.
2 number 1 ranked teams within 3 weeks.
Right, but they are still have 2 losses.
Okay, that's true.
Okay.
All right, continue.
And Clemson wins the head-to-head with Auburn. Because that's one of Auburn's losses.
Okay. Go
so
on.
they win the head-to-head.
Okay.
Number 3, Oklahoma. Rounding out the top 4 of the current, who would be in is Wisconsin at 12-0.
Wisconsin, yeah.
Followed by Alabama. Followed by Georgia. Then the U after they got shellacked by Pitt.
Wait, Miami lost to Pittsburgh?
Yes, Miami lost to the University of Pittsburgh.
Sorry, like I spent all day Saturday playing Grand Theft Auto and Netflix binging, which is what I also did on Sunday.
Yeah, so the U lost. Then it's Ohio State,
Okay.
Penn State, the University of Southern California. So that's your top 10. I watched some of the debate before we got rolling tonight.
Okay.
It's a lot of what if scenarios.
Uh-huh.
But the big takeaway is this: if the top 4 take care of business on Saturday, on championship weekend, that's your top 4. The chaos becomes if Miami beats Clemson, Georgia beats Auburn, TCU beats Oklahoma, and Ohio State beats Wisconsin.
Ooh. Right? Because then what?
Then it's fucking chaos.
Right? Oh my god. What did I watch on Netflix? Sorry, I lied. It was HBO, and I totally was watching Dumb and Dumber because I needed to laugh, and I can quote that movie religiously. California, beautiful.
I will take your word on that.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Ice, what's going on? Really?
What?
In the Facebook live chat.
Clemson can eat dicks. Yeah, no, I agree. Thank you, Ice. Clemson can eat all the dicks. No. But yeah, no. Oh my god. Why are you going to the airport? You flying somewhere? How'd you guess? Well, I saw your luggage and your airline ticket, so I put 2 to 2 together. Where are you headed? Aspen. California. Beautiful. I fucking love that movie.
You're terrible.
No, I'm not. It's a good movie.
So I did some binge watching as well.
Oh.
On Netflix, yeah. So The Punisher by Netflix is actually pretty fucking good.
I heard. A lot of people have actually told me that I need to go watch it. So I just haven't.
Yeah, it's not great. But it's pretty good. Yeah, but if you get, it's not something that like I would take over watching anything else, but it was pretty good actually.
Okay.
So, but so let's see here. What do we want to talk about first?
I saw that Asian Cartman's getting froggy again.
Yes, let's talk about Asian Cartman first.
Right, always a good time.
Always a fantastic time. Let's see here. Oh, I gotta find the actual article.
Right? Yeah, do that.
Do.
I know Hawaii's preparing, like they're going back to Cold War preparations. As far
I've
as,
got that pulled up too.
Yeah.
If you want that one.
Yeah, I'll go through that one.
What?
Do. Right. Sorry, I know I'm a fucking.
How's that again?
I'm a dork. Do.
Oh my god.
Sorry. So Hawaii has reinstated a Second World War style missile warning system amid fears of an attack by North Korea. Because again, thanks you guys. Just keep reacting. Because, again, North Korea sent off another intercontinental ballistic missile today, which crashed in the Sea of Japan. So the sirens have not been tested since the Cold War, but are being brought back as the U.S. state responds to the ongoing war of words between President Donald Trump and the secretive communist state's leader Kim Jong-un, also known as Angry Asian Cartman. Reintroduced at the start of next month, the warning system will utilize existing technology that is already used to warn local people of an incoming hurricane or tsunami. Experts believe... Oh, hold on, pause. Why does tsunami have a T in front of it?
Because the T is silent.
But in what language is the T silent in anything?
Apparently in tsunami it is.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Time in, right?
Are you,
I had questions.
You're really questioning words right now.
Yes, I am. Like, I want to know why there's a T in tsunami when you don't pronounce it. That's all I want to know. Anyways, so experts believe a North Korean missile could take only 20 minutes to reach Hawaii, meaning residents would only have a very short time to react. Hawaii is protected by U.S. anti-missile systems, but the state's leaders are taking extra precautions. They have expanded an educational program teaching residents how to respond to a nuclear strike and arranged a series of public meetings and television and radio announcements to ensure Hawaii's 1.4 million residents, good God, know what to do in the event of an attack. Local people are being told to have a plan in place for where they will take shelter if alarms warn that a strike is imminent. They have also been advised to hide in a concrete structure and have enough food and water to last at least 48 hours, but preferably 2 weeks. Yep. Right? Exactly, Alexander. Why don't you pronounce the K in knife?
So tsunami is Japanese,
Okay.
right? So the T would be silent for Su.
Why?
It's harbor because it's Japanese, for crying out
I
loud.
don't know.
And Nami is wave. Tsunami, harbor wave.
Harbor wave.
Or wave, tsunami.
Thank you for educating me on the origins of tsunami.
And do it again. So here is Hawaii bringing back the old duck and cover then?
I guess. Dude, oh my God. I remember doing that for like earthquake drills for California. We're having an earthquake drill today. Get under your desk. Oh, yeah, because this fucking thing's going to stand up if the building collapses. Great idea.
It's in case something falls that's not the entire building, like, panels and whatnot.
Right? Or the roof.
If the whole roof collapses, then you are just
That was the thing. It was you get in a doorway because somehow the doorway is the strongest part of the wall. Or
well,
you
technically it's reinforced part of the frame, so yes.
Or you get under your desk and you wait, and then you wait until the big shaking's over, and then you run out to the football field. Well, you're supposed to walk, but let's face it, everyone and their mom's gonna be fucking running at that point. During all the aftershocks, you get out to the fucking football field where you're gonna have to cross wires in order to get to the field.
Why are there wires on the way to the field?
Because there were fucking wires in the air, and if the building's coming down, the fucking light poles are gonna come down with it. Let's just call it for what it is. Like, this fucking telephone pole is not gonna stand up in a fucking earthquake that knocks down a building. It's just not gonna happen. So then, ergo, why we would now have live wires on the ground that all these fucking kids are gonna have to cross. Like, yay!
Well, but there you go. There's your natural selection.
Right? Or they would do that also for like active shooter drills. Like you'd hide in the fucking classroom, and then they're like, all right, let's herd everybody out in the same area. And like even in high school, I was like, if we really did have an active shooter, like I'm pretty sure they would set something off on the main campus, right? But then they know where we're gonna fucking go, which is the fucking football field, because that's the only area that's gonna hold 2,000 kids. Why wouldn't they just wait here and then pick everybody off once we got here?
Yeah, so I have heartburn with that too from somebody I knew who was an educator. And they would run the active shooter drill in their school and whatnot. And all I could think was, and they would do it with the kids. And I'm like, that's dumb. That's where your threat's gonna come from.
Right.
And yet they're gonna know the plan on how everything's gonna happen.
Exactly.
You can do a tabletop,
Right.
and this is what I tried to explain it to her, and she told me I was wrong, and this is the plan that they came up with. I said,
Oh my
do a
God.
tabletop with your staff.
Right? Yeah, not with the kids.
Stuff, not with the kids. Well, the kids won't know what to do. They don't need to know what to do except to listen to you when it's going down.
Right?
That's
all they need to do.
Yeah,
Hello.
let's walk the kids through it. Oh, so I had major heartburn with that when that was going down.
All right, so did you find that article, though, of North Korea launching that missile?
I did. Now that we've digressed a little bit.
Right? Here. We digressed. Here we go back to our original topic.
Here we go. All right, North Korea fires ICBM into Japanese waters. Woohoo! Yay,
Woo!
Asian Carbon.
Hooray!
North Korea fired an intercontinental ballistic missile (ICBM) around 13:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, the first such launch from the rogue regime in more than 2 months. A U.S. official confirmed to Fox News. The missile, believed to be an ICBM by the Pentagon, based on initial assessments, was launched from Sangni, North Korea, and flew roughly 620 miles before landing in the Sea of Japan. South Korea's Yonhap news agency, which first reported the launch, said the missile launched happened around 3 a.m. local time in North Korea. South Korea fired pinpoint missiles into nearby waters to make sure that North Korea understands it can be taken under fire. By the South Defense Secretary Jim Mattis said. Ooh, Jim sent a message. North Korea has been working hard to perfect re-entry technology to one day have a warhead be able to survive re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. This ICBM would be able to hit any city within the U.S. if a warhead is able to survive re-entry. For those of you who don't know, that's the whole concept behind an intercontinental ballistic missile.
Is to hit it anywhere.
So it leaves the Earth's atmosphere using the trajectory to basically shortcut the Earth.
Yeah.
And hit your target, right? That was a big thing about NORAD and all that other garbage. It was determined by the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, that the missile did not pose a threat to North America, our territories, or our allies. Pentagon spokesman Colonel Robert Manning III told Fox News. Wow, what a terrible name to have at the moment. Right. Manning, in an earlier statement, said, "We are in the process of assessing the situation, and we will be providing additional details when available." The ICBM flew nearly 2,800 miles into space. That's not possible.
Wait, 2,800 miles into space?
Into space, yeah.
Like space, or like just into the atmosphere? I have questions. That makes no sense. But anyway,
the ICBM flew nearly 2,800 miles into space, according to Yonhap. NASA's International Space Station only orbits the Earth from 250 miles into space.
Right, so it went past the International Space Station and then came back. But that was a high fucking arch. Like it literally went like, you know, like it didn't really get any distance. It got height, but not distance. Allegedly. Again, I have questions.
So North Korea has now test launched 3 ICBMs in its history. Tuesday's missile flew 1,000 miles higher than the regime's first launch on July 4th. President Trump told told reporters Tuesday that the missile launch is a situation that we will handle, and added the U.S. will take care of it. The president was briefed on the launch while it was still in the air. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders tweeted earlier in the day. Let's see here. See if there's anything big on it. No. Big point. This first missile that launched since North Korea fired at an intermediate range KN-17 on September 15th that flew over Japan's Hokkaido Island before splashing into the Pacific Ocean. There have been signs indicating Kim Jong-un's regime was planning a missile launch in recent days. Japan's Kyodo News reported Monday the Japanese government detected radio signals pointing to a possible missile test in the near future. However, satellite images did not show a missile or movable launch pad. North Korea's September 15th launch flew 2,300 miles out, putting the U.S. island territory of Guam within its range. Kim previously threatened to strike the island with 4 medium-range ballistic missiles in August, but ultimately stepped away from the plan.
Oh my God, sorry. I'm so sorry. Fucking Allie. It banged around the moon like that, like in that Armageddon movie.
Well, so moon is 250,000 miles away.
The physics, okay?
No, it'd have
Stop
to go
it.
a lot further than 2,800, Ellie. Not to burst your bubble. That's
Stop.
great imagination, though.
Stop with your logic and reasoning for a second.
Sorry.
Shit.
It's what I do. Damn it.
Oh, that's right. You were MI.
Hey, no, I was not.
I mean, but you were.
I was a cook.
And you were whoa.
I was a
And
cook.
MI.
I was a cook.
Oh, okay.
Ugh.
Oh my goodness. So North Korea is not the only country getting froggy right now.
No.
No.
Apparently Iran is getting froggy too.
Yes, I was actually just about to bring that up. The Iranian government is sending warships to the Gulf of Mexico because reasons. So Iranian warships are set to leave the waters of the Persian Gulf to sail across the world and tour another gulf. This one that lies between the U.S. and Mexico. Because reasons. At a time when Iran is looking to expand and modernize its military in the face of what is seen as a growing U.S. threat, its newly appointed Navy commander, Rear Admiral Hossein. Oh, God, hold on. Hossein, fuck my life.
I'm pretty sure that's not his name.
Stop. Khanzadi. Ha! Khanzadi. I'm fucking that up, but that's what it looks like. There's a Z. I don't know. Held his first press conference Wednesday announcing that a fleet of Iranian ships would soon depart for the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico en route to visits to a number of South American countries. Iran's semi-official Tanzium news agency reported this. The move is reportedly part of a push to project Iran's military on a more global scale and establish international ties as President Donald Trump and his allies, including Israel and Saudi Arabia, seek to isolate the revolutionary Shiite Muslim power.
So
I don't know.
There's really nothing we can do if they remain in international waters.
Fucking ICE bet illegals jump on the Iranian ships.
LA, whiskey math is okay sometimes.
Right.
Not when you're doing calculations for re-entry into Earth with a nuclear warhead.
Tomato, a dildo, it's the same thing.
But
You're welcome.
oh Lord.
But yeah, so quote, sailing in open waters between Europe and Americas should be the Navy's goal, which will be realized in the near future. Rear Admiral fucking hell. I'm so bad at I can read it and I can say it in my head, but getting it to come out my mouth hole is another story entirely. Rear Admiral Habibullah, I don't know, that sounds right. Sayer?
Close enough for government work.
Sayari, there we go. Who served as Navy chief for 10 years before being assigned by Supreme Leader, dude, fuck this guy's name, to Deputy Coordinator of the Army. So how'd they do that? They took a Navy commander, they took a Navy Rear Admiral and put him in charge of the Army.
Well, because it's Iran, so it really doesn't matter at that point.
Right. How many beers have I had? One. I've had one. I can't fucking... Hooked on Phonics did not work for me. So yeah. So this Navy guy who's now in the Army, allegedly, said earlier this month at his successor ceremony, according to the Tasnim News Agency and translated by Caspian News. Kanzati, sure, also pledged to introduce new vessels and submarines next year and announced other upcoming plans to bolster the country's naval power. He said the new Pecan-class missile launching Corvette Separ or Shield. No, it's Pecan. Peykan. Pecan. Or is it
Pecan Sandies? What?
Exactly. Great Cloud, stop laughing. I'm trying to be serious. Stop. No, but for real, is it pecan or is it pecan? Or is it pecan? Oh my God, are you okay?
All I can think is Pecan Sandies.
Stop. I'm trying to be serious right now. And you're making me cry.
Serious face.
Stop it. All right. Ugh. Fucking asshole. I lost my spot. Fuck you. Great Cloud's an asshole.
I am not.
Right, drink more. Allison says drink more. The Toucan-class submarine.
Did you say toucan?
Kaz did.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah, Kaz, Iran has a Toucan-class submarine. Wait, is it Toucan or Toucan? I have questions. But yeah, so that's been going on. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Lordy.
So bad. We are professionals here at WTF Nation Radio. We report the news professionally. Oh my God.
Define professionally.
Right. Seriously, I started crying. I was laughing so hard.
I'm not broken.
You're
Scotch
broken. Oh my goodness.
All right.
So dumb. All right, so are we done talking about Iran? Because I am.
Yes. Yes.
Like they're sending warships to the Gulf of Mexico because fucking reasons that we don't know.
Oh, man.
Probably because, we're always over in the Persian Gulf. So they're like, hey, if you're going to be over in our Gulf, we're going to come over to yours.
Well, and that's the thing that makes this interesting is obviously there's been near skirmishes, and there was the capture of the sailors. Mr. White Sox, the infamous White Sox sailor.
Yes. Right? Way to go.
Way to go, White Sox.
Right? Damn it. When you think to yourself, no one's going to know if my socks aren't black. And then you get captured by the enemy. Damn it.
So,
could you imagine his counseling statement? What?
I said it'll be actually interesting to see if they make it to the Gulf of Mexico.
I know their ships aren't that good.
Well, so they could accidentally stray into territorial waters, and then we own them. We have them dead to rights.
Exactly. So then there's that.
So it'll be very interesting to see if they actually make it all the way to the Gulf of Mexico, to see what they actually do. And two, what would our response be in the Gulf to their presence there?
Holy fuck balls. The coasties are actually going to get some action. If that happens and they get there, who's going to be the first line of defense? The motherfucking Coast Guard. The puddle pirates are going to get to do something and feel like they're part of the military. Oh, they're probably so looking forward to this.
They would probably like it, but I don't see them being the response.
No.
I see us there. Norfolk is just up the way, with destroyers and subs and whatnot.
Well, and NAS Jacksonville is right there.
Yep. So
And that they've got destroyers too, right? Destroyers and a carrier.
But no, I mean, seriously, it'll be the response from us will be very interesting if they do make it all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. That beckons the question: could there be a standoff similar to the Russian the blockade that
like
we
the Cuban
imposed during Cuban Missile Crisis?
Yeah. Ooh. That'll be interesting because Cuba and Iran are kind of allies, right? I don't think they're allies, but I think they're friendly towards each other.
Cause brings up a good point in the Facebook live chat. It would give us a chance to see them in true open waters and not just confined to the Gulf.
That is true because they haven't gone anywhere. So them getting not only the manpower to get over here, but then also the ship power and have the necessary provisions and equipment to get here. Because let's think about the journey that they're gonna have to fucking take. They can either go the long way around, which is through the Pacific Ocean, first the Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, through the Panama Canal into the Gulf of Mexico. Or they go all the way down around Africa through the Atlantic into the Gulf. Either way, I know for a fucking fact, if they sail directly here and they don't make any ports or stops anywhere along the way, that is an open declaration of war. I know that for a fact because one of my brothers who is in the Marine Corps, who was part of the invasion of Iraq in 2003, he had, obviously he went on a fucking naval ship, but they had to fucking, ping pong their way across the Pacific Ocean in order to get over there, because if they had sailed directly there and had not stopped anywhere along the way, that is an open declaration of war.
Right.
So that's going to be something to look out for. Is if, are they stopping along the way to the Gulf? Are they making port at other countries? Or are they sailing straight for the Gulf and not stopping anywhere?
Well, hopefully we would have some kind of insight into that on
yes,
what that would be.
I hope so. But hey, it's break time.
Oh, wow. That's a good hour.
I know, it was. All right, you guys. So we are going to go on a quick break. It's only going to be 4 minutes long, so hang in there for us. And when we come back, we will have David Jordan on from We Got Your Six. And we will see y'all in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. All right. Enjoy this song from the band Another Round. They're a veteran fronted band. I thoroughly enjoy them, and I think you will too. All right. See you soon.
Tears have been cried. Nobody has lied. At the end, it's over. I'm finally sober. I'm finally sober. My only demon, my only regret is that I left you with scars so that you'll never forget. Sick of forgiving my mistakes and my faults. Shattered your glass heart to millions when I ripped it apart. There's nothing left. Love is gone. So there was a failure to communicate. So sad to leave, but we were forced to wait. Nobody said we had to relate. At the end, it's over. I'm finally sober. I'm finally sober. Nobody said we had to relate. At the end, it's over. I'm finally sober. I'm finally sober. There was a failure to communicate. So sad to leave, but we were forced to wait. Nobody said we had to relate. At the end, it's over. I'm finally sober. Finally sober.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
All right, we are back. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around and joining us after the break. We have David Jordan on the line. Hello, David.
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing fantastic. How are you today?
Doing great. It's nice to get back into the saddle again. I've kind of missed broadcasting. Been out of the loop for a little bit, moving and all that stuff. So, but anyways, this
That's
part of the
always
show,
fun.
yeah, right. This part of the show is all about you, though. So you are from We Got Your Six. Now, what is your organization all about?
We are all about helping our homeless veterans transition from being homeless back to living on their own as productive members of society. Because the bad part about being a homeless veteran is nobody wants to give you a chance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're homeless. You might have the best resume in the world, but you're homeless and they're afraid to trust you. You know, they're afraid because you're homeless, you're going to steal them, or you're not going to give them the dedication that a job deserves, or, you know, whatever the stigma about the homeless and the homeless veterans is. And I know that firsthand because I actually was a homeless veteran at one time. Mm-hmm. That's why I helped start this charity, because I want to show society that just because these guys are homeless doesn't mean they're worthless.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a chance once in a while.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to be.
So when was I Got Your Six founded?
We Got Your Six was born August 12th of 2015.
Okay. And now is it ran from, mostly veterans or like yourself, like formerly homeless veterans?
It's actually all veteran owned and operated. Both myself and my two business partners that founded this with me are both veterans as well.
Okay.
Angela Messerly, who is my director of veteran education and programming, her job is helping them if they want to get back into school or get a trade skill or something like that. That's what her function is. She's a master at going through school and how to get the different grants and different funding options for school. She's a 10-year veteran of the Army, and she was a medic. Then James Lopez, and Angie's in San Antonio, by the way. James Lopez is my other business partner. He's a 30-year veteran of the Navy and the Army.
Oh, wow.
National Guard, Army and the National Guard. He was a paralegal and did a few other things in the Army. But
oh my goodness.
He's in charge of my veteran homing program. Basically, what he's going to do is when they come into our program, he's going to find out what kind of goals they have for finding a living situation. Do you want to own a home? Do you want to rent? Do you want to be on property? What's your ideal living situation going to be? So he can work with the HUD-VESH coordinators or some of the property managers that we've been talking to about coming up with some different ideas for these guys.
Yeah.
And then I'm a 10-year veteran. Well, I'm a 12-year veteran of the Army now, but I'm a 12-year veteran of the Army. I actually get out on December 15th.
Oh, very nice.
But my main focus is helping them get their resumes up to par, helping them find jobs. I've got contractors who will come out and teach these guys how to weld, how to paint, how to work on houses, how to work on cars, things like that. So we can get these guys different types of certifications to try and help them better their lives.
Now I saw on your guys' Facebook page something about farming as well.
Yes, that's actually the kicker of the whole thing. Our goal is we are going to buy 3 properties, one in Dallas, one in San Antonio, and one in Houston, because those are the 3 main major metroplexes here in Texas.
Yes.
And what we're going to do, each property is going to be 50 to 300 acres.
Oh, wow.
Because what we're going to do is these guys are going to learn how to farm, harvest, and grow their own food.
Yes.
They're going to be responsible for the repairs, the maintenance, the upkeep, taking care of the horses, the cattle, the chickens, the goats, any livestock that we have. They're going to be responsible for taking people on trail rides. They're going to be responsible for taking care of the apiaries because we're going to have bees as a way to make money. So that's how these guys earn their stay in our program, is they have these chores that they do. So that way it's holding them accountable, and they have to go through all this stuff in order to be part of the program. Then what we do is our commitment to them is we're going to help them rebuild and reestablish their credit. We're going to help them build resumes. We're going to help them find jobs. We're going to help them with counseling. We're going to help them. I've talked to several of the big banks about coming out and putting off financial management seminars, just helping these guys develop a monthly budget, so that when they get ready to leave our program at the end of a year to a year and a half, depending on the veteran, because we know it's going to take longer for some people, they have everything they need to be able to go back out into society and be able to survive. And one of the greatest things, and this is why we go with the name We Got Your Six, because I'm sure you know what that term means.
Yeah.
Even when they leave our program, we don't wash our hands of them. For the first 90 days, we're going to do weekly follow-ups with them to make sure that they're staying on track with their budget, make sure they're doing okay mentally, see if we need to kind of push them in a little different direction or guide them. And then at the end of 90 days, we're going to we'll take those follow-ups and move them to once a month for the rest of that veteran's life, or until that veteran says, hey, you guys don't need to check up on me anymore. I'm good. Because if these guys fail, they're going to fail within the first 90 days.
Yeah.
They're going to fall back into bad habits, and they're going to start faltering off. So if we stay up with them for the first 90 days and make sure that they're solid and they know that they got a support structure, they have a lot better chance of surviving back out in society and not ending up back homeless.
Yeah.
Because right now, the average person is homeless 4 to 7 years.
Ugh. And then, I mean, do they get off the street, or is it because, they aren't here anymore?
What do you mean?
Like, as in, like, because I know being homeless is hard and
very hard
and dangerous. Like, on top of that, it's, like, one, you have to battle. Not only do you have to, like, battle the elements, but you also have to battle everyone on the street. And let's face it, not everyone's a nice person out there.
I'm going to be honest. The worst thing you fight is your own demons.
And that too.
I mean, I got to the point where I couldn't find a job because, I've got over 25 years of management experience, 30 years of customer service experience. I'm a certified Army instructor, and I couldn't find a job. And I started getting depressed, and it put me to the point where I almost killed myself.
So, yeah, exactly. So, you say the average person, who is homeless spends 4 to 7 years on the street, but then, do they get, like, at the end of that, like, is it because that they finally get off the street, or is it because, they've died?
Both.
Oh.
Last year there was 25 veterans here in the state of Texas that died without family members. And Patriot Guard and a couple of the other motorcycle organizations actually helped with funerals for them.
Yeah, I went to one.
But they didn't have anybody. My uncle just passed away May 17th of this year, 13 days before his 71st birthday. Mm-hmm. And he was a homeless veteran. And I had been trying to reach out to him to get him into my program and try and help him. And he unfortunately passed away before I was able to do that.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But he went into the hospital for a triple bypass, and he ended up passing away. Ooh. And he died alone. There was one person he had been in touch with, and two people, me and a friend of theirs. And their friend actually reached out to me to ask me if I could try and help track him down. And then I was trying to track him down, and next thing I got a message was that he had passed away. And a lot of these guys end up doing that. They freeze to death. They give up.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't want to have happen. We want to take the ones that want to change. And the thing is, a lot of these guys want to change their lives, but society has such a bad stigma about homeless veterans, about the homeless period, that they don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And it's really sad.
So I'm looking at your website, and you're running down the list of programs that you got, and there's a lot of good things out there. My question, you mentioned the acreage you're trying to purchase for these programs. Have you been? And I saw this out there that the VA's got something as well now to back agricultural a business for soldiers to go into, for service members to go into farming.
The problem with that is the VA is not giving out any more grants or loans. Unless you are already part of their network right now, they've got everything's closed.
Really?
They're not giving out any new funding to any new programs, because I actually looked at doing that. But when I went to apply, the VA grant program actually says they are not accepting any new programs because of funding issues. And the only programs they're going to continue to fund are ones that have already been established into the VA network.
Okay. For that. So I'm on your site. So tell us a little bit about the application process.
Okay. There's on the website, we actually have an application. And what they do is they fill out the application, and it comes to me, and I review it. I share it with James and Angie, and I get their feedback, and get their thoughts. And then I reach out to the veteran and I talk to them. I go, tell me what your situation is, what's your mindset, what are your goals? Because I want to see if they're telling me anything different from what I read on the application. Then if we feel, between the three of us, if we feel they're a good fit for our program and that they want to genuinely change their lives to where we're not going to be wasting our time and our resources, we'll actually bring them in for an interview and do a face-to-face interview. Mm-hmm. So we can kind of get a bird's eye view of them, because anybody can lie over a phone, but usually almost everybody has a tell when they're lying. So we'll do an interview with them, and if we feel that they're still a good fit, then I start connecting them with my resources and we start them on the process. I mean, in the last 3 weeks, I've gotten 6 people jobs.
That's awesome.
I've gotten a couple of them hooked up with different programs that are trying to help them on the financial side, in a way that we can't help them with right now because because of the funding issues. I mean, I've been paying for almost everything out of my own pocket, except for the few donations that we've gotten over the last few months to a year, But until we can get all of our grant money, which I've been applying for grants for the last year and a half, 2 years, until we get all this coming in, I do what I can and I connect them with resources. That's unfortunately the best I can do at this point. But I get these guys into my network so that when we do get everything up and running full strength, it's easier for me to absorb them into my program. But in the meantime, I'm connecting them with people who can help them in ways that they need, be it jobs. I've got one person, he's actually, as long as people can provide, if we can get people to provide the parts for the car, he'll do the labor on the car for free.
Oh, that's really awesome. And that's one of those services where you see those, we see it on, we get the messages all the time, asking for help on the main page with things like that, saying they're broke down or whatever, and they cannot find a mechanic in the area. Mm-hmm. Things like that would be awesome. You start to build, you're starting to build that network, and then that network will just continue to grow. And I say this all the time on here and whatnot, is we are the largest community within the United States. Flat out.
Oh yeah.
And what you're doing is continuing to grow that community, make it much, grow that tightness that we have. And we'll be able to reach out to each other and help each other. It's the handout. It's the hand up, not the handout.
That's exactly it. And I got to give a huge shout out to an organization that I'm proud to be part of. It's called OP Veterans. And we just had, about 2 weeks ago, we just had an event out in Austin where they had a bunch of the VSOs out there showcasing what they do for the community. And it took place on a Saturday, and it was a good 5 hours. It was on the 18th, and it was just VSOs just talking and networking and saying, hey, what do you do? What do you do? Oh, we should really team up and work together on something like this. Yep. And it just blew me away to see some of the different organizations out there and hear what they do. And I've actually made several great connections. In fact, I've got a meeting tomorrow with one of them. So OP Veterans, thank you for everything you guys do. You're awesome.
So I have a question, or actually, Jason Halter has a question in Facebook Live. He
Yes.
says, getting jobs is good, but how about housing? How do you go about getting these vets housing?
That's one of the programs that we're actually trying to implement. I'm working with several different property managers in the area to try and get low income housing available for these guys. And I work with all 32 of the homeless shelters here in the area that work with the different programs, and 19 of those that work with homeless veterans. So if these guys are on the streets and they want to get into a program, I've got access to different housing programs through the VA, HUD-VASH, and the homeless shelters.
Okay. And now
I'm hoping that answers his question. If not, then
yeah.
I can be more specific. But that's what we're working with right now.
So
And now when they come to my property, we're actually when we get our 3 properties built, we are going to be able to house probably about 100 to 200 males and another 200 females, because we're going to build barracks that we will be housing them on our property while they go through our program.
So I do have a question. So
Sure.
most of these, how are you, John, hold on really quick. John, he said that the areas that these farms are going to be in is San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas.
Correct.
So my question is, you think homeless vets, and you think, they're not going to have access to, the interwebs, at least in my naive mind. They're out there like just struggling to get food. So how are they going to be able to afford, a phone, I guess? I don't know. Maybe that's super like ignorant of me. And I'm sorry if that is. It's just, so how are you getting the word out to these homeless vets about your program and saying, hey, we're here for you. We're here to help you back up onto your feet.
A lot of times people will reach out to me and say, hey, this guy is a homeless veteran. Here's his contact information. Like they'll have an address of where they're at, and I'll go visit them. Just this last weekend, I was out to lunch with one of my battle buddies, and we were sitting there eating lunch, and they overheard the conversation that we had, and the waitress was like, yeah, there's a homeless veteran, right behind the shopping complex here. So we got done eating, and I took my leftovers and I went behind the building, and I went over and visited with the gentleman for a few minutes, just kind of asked him some questions to gauge if he actually was a veteran and gauge where his mindset was at, and asked him if he wanted help. I left him one of my business cards, which has a toll-free number on it, because I know not everybody's got access to a phone, but there are still payphones around every now and then.
Right, if you can find them.
But I purposely have a 800 number for those that don't have access to a phone. So they can do that. So a lot of these guys do go to the library sometimes. The libraries kind of frown on them, but they'll go into the libraries and they'll get on the computers and they can do things like that. I mean, but I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say, hey, I've got a homeless veteran, somehow these guys get prepaid phones. So a lot of times they've got prepaid phones. Sometimes they'll have data on them, and they'll use the data until they run out.
Yeah.
And then they'll use what little money they get to go buy a new card.
So, hey, Dave,
Yes,
again,
sir.
back to your page. For people who want to help, right? What, other than donations, is there anything else that you guys can receive or people can help with to really try to kickstart you and get this going?
Oh, of course. Right now I'm working with a group called Operation Rock the Troops, and they're actually doing a huge benefit right now And on December, let me see here. Let me double check my calendar. I believe it's December 8th. Yes, December 8th. They're going to be at KBGI Radio in Frisco, Texas. They are going to be collecting a bunch of items that they're going to be donating to us from the community.
Nice.
And on December 5th, Tuesday, December 5th from 11 to 1, if anybody is in the Frisco, Texas area, they can come to KBGI Radio and they will actually have the opportunity to meet Lieutenant Colonel Alan West.
No.
Yes.
Huh.
Lieutenant Colonel Alan West is actually supporting our organization,
Oh, that's amazing.
and he is supporting Operation Rock the Troops in this benefit for us. And from 11 to 1, if you show up over at KVGI Radio, and I can give you guys the address for it, they will be able to get a picture and meet Lieutenant Colonel Alan West.
Oh
That'd be
my
really
goodness.
awesome.
Right? Oh my God. Wait, do I
And
have to work?
I'm
that
actually
day?
leaving school early that day so I can go, because I gotta be there, you know. It's
Right.
my organization. So I've got school that day, but I'm like, I'll go for the first hour of class and then I'm leaving because
Right.
I have to be there for to meet Lieutenant Colonel West, because otherwise I'm not going to look very good, you know.
Right? Oh my goodness. No, like right now I'm trying to think hold on, am I working that day? And you said it was a Tuesday?
Yeah, I just
that's
posted the address in the comment section.
That's my damn, that's my long day at work. Son of a mother. Ugh.
Okay. For some reason, it's
No,
not letting
right?
me post it, but the address for anybody that is interested is 3001 Dallas Parkway, number 120, Frisco, Texas, 75034. And you guys can also message me through Facebook or email me, and I can provide any information or details that anybody wants. But
Oh,
that's going to be an amazing opportunity for people who'd like to meet Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. I mean, this is a huge opportunity for us,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
feel blessed to have the opportunity to work with Operation Rock the Troops.
that was actually going to be my next question is what kind of upcoming events do you guys have as far as either fundraising or just getting your name out there?
Well, actually, right now I have the best fundraiser in the entire world going on. Somebody has the opportunity to win a 2018 Honda or Toyota car or truck.
Wait, what?
What?
Yes,
Right? I'm sorry,
Honda-
my ears are
Honda-
perked.
Honda of Denton and Toyota of Denton have a fundraiser going on right now. The fundraiser, I have tickets that I'm selling through March 31st. The drawing is May 19th at 1000 hours. And for $2, somebody can win a 2018 Honda car or truck or Toyota car or truck. $30,000 vehicle. They also pay for the tax, title, and license.
What?
You do not need to be present. They will call you if you win, and all you have to do is drive to Honda. Well, it's actually taking place at Toyota of Denton, where they're doing the drawing.
Uh-huh.
So you would drive to Toyota of Denton. They will fill all the paperwork out for you, and you drive off in a $30,000 car or truck. Now, here's a great thing about it. You do not even have to live in the state of Texas. You would just have to fly out here. Like my sister, who lives in Colorado, wants to buy some tickets. If she wins, she's going to have to fly out here from Colorado to pick up her car. But, you know.
Oh, I know
It's
exactly what I would
$2
get, too.
$2 for a ticket.
That's pretty awesome.
That's amazing. And where can
I
we
know,
go to
right?
get these tickets?
They can actually, I've got it set up through my website to where they can purchase them through my website.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just got to, unfortunately, I wasn't able to do the links the proper way. But what they do is they can make the payment through my website and then contact me after I verify the payment's gone through, and then I'll get their contact information and I will mail their stubs to them, their portion of the stubs to them, and then I'll put the other ones in the drawing box that I've got. But if they're here in the area, I can take cash, check, or charge. They can do PayPal.
Oh my goodness.
All of it can be done through my website, or if they're here in the local DFW area, I can meet up with them. There's no limit to the number of tickets you can buy. I've got 3,000 tickets right now. And when I get done with those 3,000 tickets, I can go get more.
Oh
So there's no limit. December 2nd, I'm going to be helping out the McKinney Running Club over at Tupp's Brewery in downtown McKinney. They're doing a running event, and I'm setting up a booth over there where I'm going to be selling these raffle tickets and giving out brochures.
Mm-hmm.
December 16th, I'm helping out Operation Care International at the Dallas Convention Center on December 16th from 8 till 5, I think it is. And we're going to be giving out blankets and jackets and coats and different socks and stuff to the homeless veterans in the area.
Right? Is there a large population of homeless vets up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area?
Dallas and Collin County last year had 1,800 homeless veterans. Of those 1,800 homeless veterans, over 1,200 were unsheltered, meaning they were living in their cars, they were living in couch surfing, they were sleeping in parks, under roofings, wherever they could sleep. And if you look on my website, under the statistics, I've got the statistics for 2014 and 2015. That gives you an idea of the national numbers. And I actually just today got the 2016 numbers. Now, just so you know where I get my numbers from. Back in 1994, the Department of Veteran Affairs created the Challenge Survey. The Challenge Survey stands for Community Homelessness Assessment, Local Education, and Networking Groups. What this is doctors, lawyers, nonprofit organizations, veterans, VSOs, government agencies that help with the homeless veterans. And it also comprises of homeless veterans that took the survey. Now, they do the survey once a year. And I get the new numbers. Now, this year, 5,280 people took the survey. 3,191 of those were homeless veteran participants. 2,820 were male. 371 were female. So 88.4% of them were males, 11.6% were females. The highest age group, again, this astonishes me. Every single year, the highest age group since 2013 has been 45 to 60. That is the highest age group for the last 4 years, or 3 years, sorry.
Wait, 45 to 60, those
Yes.
are Desert Storm guys.
Yep. 45 to 60 is the highest age group, and it's been the highest age group since 2013.
Wow. Really?
Jesus.
Yes. And the highest races are white and black. Non-Latino, non-Hispanic, non-Latino make up 80.4% for the males and 84.1% for the females.
That's so sad. Like, that's really sad.
Now, these numbers came directly from the VA. I've been in touch with this young lady ever since I started this organization 2 years ago, and I know the survey. They normally get the survey numbers out around the end of July, the first part of August.
Mm-hmm.
They had some troubles getting the survey numbers out this year, so I'm about 4 months late on getting my numbers. So I just got this today, so I haven't been able to add this to my website yet. But over the next couple of days, these numbers will make it on their way to my website for the newest statistics. Right now, 25% of these veterans are literally homeless, meaning on the streets and shelters or in cars. 25% for males, 25.3% for the females.
Like, and like, I think that's something that gets overlooked is the homeless female, like, veteran population.
Well, you want to know why?
Because everyone overlooks female veterans.
Female veterans don't really pronounce themselves that much.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid to make themselves targets. You know, they're already a woman, so they already get targeted for being a woman. Then they, you know, having the female veteran on top of it, they don't want to represent themselves, which I can kind of understand why. I don't agree with it, but, you know, I mean, they need help regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But the age, okay, here's the age groups. Less than 25, I'll give you the less than 25 age range, 0.6% male, 0.8% female. 25 to 34 is 0.67 for males, 15.9% for females. 35 to 44, 10.4 for males, 19.7 for females. 45 to 60, males is 54.4, women is 51.2. And then 61 and over, 27.8 and 12.4.
Which, I mean, if you think about it, that correlates with how many females have been, like, I know I'm steering this to females because, you know, that's what I am. But it's interesting to see the correlation between, you know, the older generations, how, you know, the majority are males because that's who is fighting, especially in, like, you know, the 65 and older group. Like, you don't really hear about female Vietnam vets. You know, when you think of Vietnam vets, you don't think female vets. You don't hear about them. You know that some were there, you know, because, you know, the Women's Corps was established back during World War, what was it? World War I, World War II?
Mm-hmm.
And, but with each progressing age group, more and more females are being reported as homeless because, again, like, more females are joining and more females are serving. And, like, it's going to be interesting, like, you know, going forward on how drastic the percentages are going to differ between male and female.
So I see a question here on your live feed. How many of these homeless veterans are, number one, enrolled in the VA health system? And number two, how many of the homeless vets, both male and female, have their mental issues or substance abuse issues? And that's a good question, because most of if you're going to be in one of the homeless shelters here in the area as a veteran, you have to be involved with the VA healthcare system. They won't even take you if you're not enrolled into the VA, because that's where a lot of your healthcare is going to come from. Now, the shelters have doctors and stuff that come once a week and do visits, but you have to be able to they have to be able to take you to the VA if there's something wrong, because that's where your care is going to come from. Now, the ones that are out on the streets, there's no guarantee that they're enrolled in the VA system. Now, in order to come into my program, well, I say my program, but it's actually our program. Don't want to take away from James and Angie. But in order to come into our program, you have to be registered with the VA. If you're not registered with the VA, I will gladly take you over to the VA, and I will sit there with you all day long while we get you enrolled, finding your paperwork, whatever we have to do. If we have to get you a copy of your DD-214, I've got access to programs where I can get a hold of somebody's DD-214, and we'll get them enrolled in the VA so we can get them the health care that they need. But now here's another thing is, a lot of the in regards to the healthcare, the mental health issues and substance abuse issues, there's a lot more people that need the resources than what the VA can be able to take care of. That's the bad part. But I am actually building a relationship with the Stephen H. Cohen Clinic over in Addison to try and take some of these guys to get some of the mental health issues taken care of. I know a young lady that works over there that we're going to be working with, and I'm also just developed a good relationship with the Lone Survivor Foundation at VetFest 2 weeks ago. And when they come into our program, I'm going to send them off to the Lone Survivor Foundation to go through their mental health evaluation and therapy program, so that when they come back to my program, we can keep on that medical training with them and build up a routine to where they stay on top of it.
That's awesome.
That way we're helping them mentally, physically, emotionally. I mean, I've even got different religious people that are willing to come out and provide free religious services, so we can try and build them up spiritually as well if they want to get back into church and stuff.
Now, like, when it comes to the religious aspect, are you just like, are you going to be able to provide for, all religions out there, or like just specific ones?
No, we're not going to be religion specific. What we'll do is we will have a couple little makeshift chapels. Mm-hmm. One that'll be strictly for like Christianity. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not big on religion myself. Mm-hmm. I know I'm bad, but no, we are not gonna discriminate against any type of religion. Mm-hmm. If they come up to us and say, I'd like to have this type of service, I will find somebody in the community that performs that type of service, and we will let them do their thing.
Okay.
So, hey, Dave, I want to know, you described all these things that you're, that the program's able to do, and where the direction you're going through. I want you to tell the nation about one feel-good story that you got.
Mm-hmm. One feel-good story.
One feel-good success story. Yep.
You know what? I actually have the perfect feel-good story. I love what I just found out from one of my friends. Okay, so a few months ago, my friend Stephen Begame, who works with 22 Kill, another great organization I love. 22 Kill brings the realization that 22 veterans kill themselves every single day because they lose the battle to PTSD and they take their own life. I'm a 22 Kill advocate. I wear my ring on my right index finger very proudly. But Stephen Begame reached out to me and said he had a friend of his that was homeless and needed some help. So I didn't have the resources to really be able to help him at that time, but I still reached out to him and I talked to him and I was an ear. And I helped, I tried to help him with the job, and we tried, he's a big supporter of our organization now, which is why I'm very proud of this guy. Him and his now fiance met October 7th at a charity event that I was hosting in McKinney, a country music benefit. And he met my friend Deanna Starkey Martin at this event. They started dating, and now they are engaged.
Aww.
That's awesome.
So Jerry's a good friend of mine, and he's a supporter of my organization. Deanna Starkey Martin's a supporter of my organization. They met at one of our benefits trying to raise money and awareness for the homeless veterans, him being a former homeless veteran himself. And now they're looking for somebody to marry them. And I know she's been struggling with depression, and she's been struggling with a lot of things over the last few months, and I've been trying to help her with that and try and lift her spirits up, and she helps me, and she does a lot for organization. And I was just so blown away and happy that the fact that they ended up together and they have a really good relationship.
That's amazing. Aww. So I have like a personal question.
Sure.
Can I come visit? Like,
Of
I know,
course.
like, obviously, you know, I'm not homeless. I'm broadcasting from my home. But can I
Just got-
come visit and, like, you know, work at the ranch?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, as soon as we get everything set up, you'd be more than welcome to. You can come out and be my guest.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, I'll be in the stables the whole time. And, like, on
That's
the
fine,
horses
because actually
the whole
what
time.
we're trying to do, I've got a property I want right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find an angel investor or somebody willing to believe in our organization enough to help me with this. It is 30 acres. It is in Nevada, Texas. It has a 2-acre lake on it.
Go on.
It's already got water and power and everything run because there was a house on it. The house got destroyed in the hailstorms a couple of years ago,
Okay.
but it's already had horses and agricultural on it, so it's already ag and timber exempt. I've already got ag and timber exemptions.
Mm-hmm.
It's electricity and water run, so all we'd have to do is build a house on it for me to be able to live in, and then we can get the other ones, the barracks, built. There's an actual spot where I want to build a 30-stall barn. And what we'll do is 10 of those stalls will be for our horses, the ones we use to take people on trail rides and do equine therapy with.
Yes.
And then the other 20 stalls I will actually rent out.
Now I need a horse.
So I would rent those stalls out to people. That way they can, and the money from those stalls would actually help not only pay for the stalls, but would be residual income for us.
Yeah.
Plus, we're going to be able to grow our own hay, so we wouldn't have to worry about paying hay for somebody. We're going to be able to have our own hay. We're going to have hydroponic gardens, so we're going to be growing our own fruits and vegetables.
Mhm.
And what we don't use on the ranches, we're going to take out to the farmers markets and sell and show the community what our veterans are doing. We're also going to take some of them and we're going to make our own jam and jelly line so we can sell that at the markets. And we're going to have aviaries so we can have honey and beeswax and stuff like that to be able to sell.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
Plus we'll have the 2-acre lake. People can come out and they can go fishing and they can relax and stuff like that. But the great thing about our program, what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to have the barracks. So you're going to have the male barracks and you're going to have the female barracks.
Mm-hmm.
Each floor is going to house about 45 to 50 people, and they'll all be bunk beds. But we will have a few beds, like if people have medical conditions that would keep them from being on the top bunk, we'll have some single bunks that they can get into.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 400 people we'll be able to house right there. Plus, I've already talked with FEMA and HUD about getting and Habitat for Humanity about getting at least 5 to 6 mobile home trailers.
Mm-hmm.
So if we come across a family, then the families can be in the trailers
Okay.
to where they're not separated. Because like right now, Dallas Life Center and Samaritan Inn both have families living in their buildings with everybody else. I mean, one of the homeless veterans that I know and I've been getting involved in the program is in a shelter with his 9-year-old daughter. So he could come out to the property and they would have a trailer that they could live in. So they're away from everybody else. But one of the important things is, so we're going to have 3 trailers for families. The other 3 trailers are going to be for family members of our veterans. What I mean by that, okay, a lot of these times when these veterans get separated, they end up homeless, they get separated from their families. So when they come into our program, one of the questions on our application is, do you have any family members that you would like us to reach out to? If they say yes, okay, well, do you have contact information for this veteran? And, they give us the contact information. I'll reach out to that veteran's family member and say, hey, I've got Joe Smith in my, this is David Jordan with We Got Your Six. I have Joe Smith over here in my program here in Dallas, Texas, and we are trying to help get him back on his feet. And I think it would be great if you could come out and help with his rehabilitation process. If you can come out, if you're willing to come out here, you can come out here and stay on our property free of charge. Joe would not be able to go to your trailer at all. You guys can interact out here with the horses on the property or anything, but that trailer is your safe haven. Would you be willing to come out and try and help with his healing process? And if they say yes, then they can come out and stay in the trailer. They can take part in our barbecues. They can go on the trail rides. They can eat with us and stuff like that.
That's a really good aspect of that. That I think gets missed by a lot of organizations that are trying to help vets get back on their feet and whatnot. And it's that family connection, whether it be, spouse, kids, mom, dad, whatever it is, knowing that they are there and that they can see that they're still cared about. I think that would have huge benefits to the healing process and to help them get on the right track again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can tell you, my cousin Brian's the only reason I'm still alive right now. Because like I said, I had gotten turned down for a lot of job interviews. I had been having trouble finding work. Nobody wanted to give me a chance because I was homeless. And the reason I say that is I could actually tell because I had this one lady completely loved my resume, had already scheduled me for a second round interview. And then she saw the address and she goes, this address looks familiar. I'm just like, yeah, it's the homeless shelter right down the road. And she goes, oh, you're homeless?
Aww.
And you could just tell completely 360-degree change. So that's when I got on Facebook. I started saying goodbye to everybody. I went into the homeless shelter I was staying at, took all my stuff out of the common area, out of my locker and everything, and I dropped that off in the veteran common area, and I said, here you go, guys, have fun. And I was walking out the door, and I was on my way 3/4 of a mile down the road to the busy intersection where I was going to walk out in front of a semi-truck.
Oh.
My cousin called me and called me and called me and called me until I answered and made me tell him what was going on. And he wanted me to come out here to Texas, and I told no because I didn't want to be a burden to anybody. I said I'm not worth it. And he just kept pushing me, and he eventually got me to break and tell him what was going on. And while I was on the phone with him, his girlfriend, who's now his wife, was buying a bus ticket from Lexington, Kentucky to Pasadena, Texas for me. So February 14th of 2015, I was on a bus from Lexington, Kentucky to Pasadena, Texas. Let's see. So May, March, April, May, June, July, August. 6 months later, We Got Your Six was founded. Sorry, I'll do the math in a second. But 6 months later, this organization was founded with the mission that we have now.
I'm so glad you're still here.
It's yeah, that's just an awesome whew, man.
Right?
Yeah.
I had to turn my camera off for a second because I'm not I don't look good right now. I'm crying. Fuck my life.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to make
No. You're fine. Like, it's just, like like my biggest flaw is like I wear my heart on my sleeve, right? And I'm super like I don't know, I'm
the same way.
I'm way too compassionate about people for my own fucking good. And so like no, like hearing your story and like knowing you were so cuz I've been there, and knowing that you were so close to just being like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go walk in front of a fucking truck. And I'm so glad you didn't, because if now you've got this amazing organization out there to make sure that none of our other brothers and sisters like have to go through that, Ugh, sorry.
And that's exactly it. And Great Cloud, you made a good point. A lot of these organizations don't take a lot of the things into consideration that we have with this organization. And I think the reason I have such a passion for this organization and developed the programs that we did and the thought of the things I did, because I have been there. I'm not, I didn't start this charity from a bleeding heart. I didn't start this charity because I wanted to get rich. I started this charity because 22 veterans kill themselves every single day, and 5 out of those 22 are homeless veterans who gave up. Or, a homeless veteran dies alone somewhere because somebody didn't want to give him a chance.
Yep.
So for those out there that want to change their lives, that want to make a difference, that want to get back on this straight and narrow and make a life for themselves, we've got your 6. We'll help you as much as we can, as long as you're willing to help yourselves.
And that's, again, and that goes back to what I mentioned earlier. I know we cover that a lot. It's that hand up and not the hand out.
Exactly.
And what a lot of people don't want to realize or understand, and you see it, and it really gets frustrating because the people expect it to be done for them. Not everybody, but there is a small contingent of those vets who give all the other vets a bad name because they want it done for them. They want it handed to them. No, that's not how we help each other. That's not how we as the community, we as the nation help each other. The hand up is the way to go.
And that's exactly why, we offer a lot of services to these guys. You saw all of our programs, but that's why they have to do the ranch work. Because if they're willing to come out to our ranch and they're willing to shovel horse crap and they're willing to grow their own food, they're willing to harvest their own food, they're willing to put in the labor every single day, that shows me that they're serious about wanting to change their lives, and they're not just wanting a handout. They're willing to put in the effort to make the ranches self-sufficient. It's up to them to make the ranches a success. If it fails, it's because they didn't put in the hard work. They didn't put in the dedication. And most importantly, they didn't work as a team to make it happen. I mean, we've even got our own, I went and I had our own dog tags made so that when they come into our program, they get a dog tag that says, "We got your 6" on it. So they feel like they're part of a unit again.
And again, that goes back to that community piece of it and us owning each other, basically. Man, it makes me feel good that, we are starting to look after each other again. And that really never goes away. We just have to re-find it.
Exactly.
Well, David, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight and telling us all about your amazing organization. And
It was my pleasure.
I cannot wait to see where you guys go and all the things that you guys accomplish. Again, I would love to come out and visit one of your farms or ranches whenever they get up and running. I would love to come out and see it and just see everything that you guys have to offer, like firsthand.
Hey, just keep in touch. You have me on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody has any other questions, you guys can get a hold of me via my cell phone number, which is 859-469-1816. You can email me at davidjordan@wgy6.org. You can visit our website, wgy6.org, and there's a contact page on there that you can fill out if you have specific questions or information. Oh, and one other thing, if I got a quick second, I want to throw this out. I know we're running out of time. Guys, I know you've been looking at my website. For those of you that have served in our country or have family members that have served in our country, I want you to know I have a special section of my website called the Honor Wall. And this Honor Wall there is broken up into 4 sections. It's for graduations, retirements, promotions, and memorial wall. Now, the memorial wall is for anybody who has served our country and died by natural causes, suicide, killed in action, or whatever. You can send me their information. I will place their name on my honor wall. And then when we get our permanent facilities built, these names are going to be transferred to a marble wall where everybody who comes to the property can pay their respects. It'll have a U.S. flag, their branch insignia, and a spot for flowers. But that's our way of paying tribute to those who have paid the ultimate price for our country.
Aww.
That's really awesome.
That's amazing. Freaking David, it was such an honor having you on tonight.
Pleasure was all mine.
All right, you guys, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be myself and Great Cloud and maybe an internet troll. We don't know yet. He apparently he's got a lot to say, so we'll see if he's got the balls to call in or not. So everyone, go check out We Got Your Six on Facebook. Go check out their website. And just, I know I'm going to follow them and continue to see all the good that they do. So yeah, we'll be back.
Well, you guys are awesome.
We'll be back here shortly. Bye, you guys. Or yeah, we'll be back.
Noon. Gotta get it together, I gotta stay in tune. Same time's against me, but I hate to rush. Gotta keep it between the lines until I hit the dust. I gotta buy some time. The key to freedom lies across the state line. It's a daily ritual, this game I play. In the life of a shadow man with a debt to pay. Hit the gravel with my hand on the radio. Here I am again. this life that I lead, it might not take me anywhere, but I was born to travel along this lonely road to nowhere. Like this life that I lead, it might not take me anywhere, but I was born to travel along this lonely road to nowhere.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Think of when you're all alone in
There we go. I know how to fucking radio. Thanks, Brinko. Oh, Brinko! Happy birthday! Happy belated birthday to Brinko. Yeah, I realize that. I know. I'm kind of dumb sometimes. But according to this one, sometimes. Just sometimes, though. Not all the time. According to this one guy, though, who messaged our page, apparently I'm stupid, according to him. So, and I was really hoping he was going to call in because I want to hear why he thinks that I'm stupid. But he hasn't called in. So I gave you the station number, so you can call in whenever you want. Oh, thanks, Debbie. Friggin'. But yeah. So, waiting on you, Gerald Stewart. Motherfucker. Yeah,
So anyway,
I'm going to
back
fucking
to,
insult the witch of the station because that's a good idea. What an idiot. He was saying that I'm fucking stupid. He couldn't even use proper goddamn punctuation or capitalization. Like, let's work on your fucking grammar, one, and then you can come at me. Like, make sure, right? Exactly, Fred. He sounds lame. He sounds hideous. Well, he's a dude. But no, like, you're going to come at me and say that I'm fucking stupid? How about you fucking make sure when you message us that you use proper grammar, and like, and that includes like not only just punctuation and capitalization, but use the right words. He said I was cited. Whatever that means. Like, I'm over here like I was like, what the
So you're like a paper?
right? Like, is there a cited works of art page that follows me around? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, I'm heated right now. Like, fuck, It's okay.
So,
Fucking coward.
To calm you down, let's talk real news.
Oh, yes. Back to news.
Back to news. So,
because Gerald Stewart is a fucking coward and did not want to call in. Sorry. Okay, I feel better.
Anyways, going back to North Korea.
Yes.
So Mark Thiessen, Trump should take out the site where North Korea just launched a missile.
Who said that?
Mark Thiessen.
Who's that?
That's what I'm getting to.
Okay, I'll wait.
What?
No, I'll let you finish the article before I ask questions because I'm sure they'll be answered in the article.
Okay. The Washington Post reports that North Korea has carried out its first ballistic missile test in more than 2 months. We've covered that.
Mm-hmm.
North Korea launched a missile early Wednesday morning. South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff said Wednesday's missile launch was from Pyongyang province and fired to the east. South Korea's Joint Chief said, according to the Yonhap news agency, the military was still working to ascertain what kind of missile it was. In the previous story, we were able to find out that it was a intercontinental ballistic missile, is what they said based on current assessments.
Mm-hmm.
So it continues to cover that. Apparently, they're not so open to dialogue after all. Indeed, the North Korean launch is a finger in the eye of China, which had just sent a high-level envoy to Pyongyang at President Trump's request. Trump tweeted hopefully about the Chinese visit. Quote, China is sending an envoy and delegation to North Korea. A big move. We'll see what happens, end quote. What happened was a big middle finger to Beijing and Washington from, quote unquote, Little Rocket Man. Here's how Trump should respond. Take out the test site from which the North Koreans launched the missile toward Japan, just like he struck the military base in Syria from which the Assad regime had launched a chemical weapons attack on innocent civilians. All right, so this goes back to everything we've talked about.
That would be a first strike, though.
That would be the first strike.
And which you and I have discussed, but you and I have discussed about this. He cannot, us as a country cannot do the first strike. We cannot start anything off with North Korea.
No, because it would escalate in the region and just probably get out of control
It would be
quickly.
Bad. We have to be the reactionary force.
Right.
So that's one.
And again, we've talked about this at length. Either way we proceed, the POTUS will be viewed as being in the wrong.
Yeah.
Whether it's a preemptive first strike or whether it's reactionary and retaliatory.
Well, but also the thing with Syria, though, is that we already have troops in Syria. We've already been conducting military operations in Syria. We're not conducting shit in North Korea right now. South Korea, sure, yeah, no, obviously. Japan, yes, we are there. China, we've got fucking troops all over that area, but not in the country of North Korea itself. So therefore, having the same sort of reaction that we did in Syria would be an all-out declaration of war and would be perceived as the first strike, as the first attack, and not as anything reactionary, and another difference between the two is that one, North Korea's missile just landed into the ocean. So while it may have affected, marine life, it didn't affect human life. Whereas the chemical attack in Syria severely affected human life and is an actual war crime. Whereas firing a missile off, yeah, it's fucking annoying and you're acting like a mosquito, but it's not a war crime.
Right. And it goes to that whole, had it actually, and again, we don't know, because one, we've never been able to capture one of their missiles or their capability yet. I do know that they're able to, based on the articles, capture telemetry and whatnot of the missile while it's in flight. And what if they'd actually mistargeted, or what it had struck the mainland of Japan or the island of Hokkaido and whatnot?
I think.
Then where does that put us? I think that puts us in a bind.
Well, that would put us. That would put us in the reactionary force, where because of the treaty that we have with Japan post World War II, we would have to defend them because that's what we agreed to do, because we have not allowed Japan up until recently to have a really strong standing military.
So they have a self-defense force.
I mean, in theory.
That is how it is worded, and that's what they are called. It is a self-defense force.
But still, they're one of our closest allies in the region besides South Korea.
Right.
So it would not only be it would be expected of us to have some sort of reaction, but it would almost be like an obligatory response, like we would be obligated to defend our allies, which if you think about it, that's what our country has always done. We've always defended our allies.
Right. Now, the question really becomes then is if it's going to come down to our reaction no matter what. Mm-hmm. If it were to strike, if they hit South Korea, there's probably no holding back the rock.
No.
I mean, I don't think there's anything we can do at that point if they were to strike South Korea. The rock is going to roll across the DMZ there and lay waste. If they were to launch a missile and it were to strike Japan, or obviously if it struck one of our territories or Hawaii or Alaska, based on their current capability and range, I think it changes the scenario. I think it really puts us, it forces our hand more than anything to actually react.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we just don't know enough to fix it.
I don't know.
it just there's no good outcome, and there's no good
There's not.
preemptive that we can take on this.
Because, I mean, either way, either scenario that happens, Donald Trump is not going to be able to win. Simply because it's Donald Trump. If it was any other Republican in there as president, it would be a different story, right?
Yep.
Simply because the liberal side of everything wants him to lose and to fail. Even if that means that America itself fails.
Right, because then they blame it on the POTUS and his administration.
Yeah.
So now we could have a situation where, like we did for Afghanistan and Iraq, and that we go and we get that international community backing, that coalition to back whatever move we're going to take, and then a preemptive first strike wouldn't look as bad on the stage of the world, right? So we've got the backing of the IC at that point. He takes out their known test facilities. You know, we get them to the table with go back to the old 6-party talks or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And try to again go back to solve it diplomatically. We talked about it last week. You know, what more can we take away from? What more can we sanction North Korea with?
I mean, that's just it, though. Is what more?
There's nothing. I don't think there's anything else diplomatically or sanction wise we can do to them to bring them to the table to try to get them within compliance to give up their nuclear program. Okay, it's not going to happen.
Right.
It's have to be taken away from them by force.
But in order to do that, we would need some sort of land invasion, which
you say land, I say B-52.
I mean, like what is it? Schematics. Semantics. That one. I get them fucking confused because I'm, according to that one fucking jackass. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. So it puts the U.S. in a very tight spot, and it really sucks that I wouldn't say there's nothing we can do because that's not true. We do have options. However, there are no great options at this point other than to continue to try and impose the sanctions, to try and continue to resolve this diplomatically, which, everybody seems to be for or whatever.
Yeah.
But
like even China, which is like, let's face it, China is North Korea's really only ally.
Yeah, are they really an ally anymore, though?
I don't think so, because relations with China with our country is actually really good at this point in time, especially after President Trump's visit to Asia and to include China. And he's the only sitting president to be invited into the Forbidden City. There's a reason for that, And so I think that China is getting pissed with North Korea's antics and is trying to create as much distance between the two of them as possible, which is why I think China's started to build up a force along the North Korean border as hey, stop fucking around.
But see, I don't think that's necessarily I think that's more to keep the North Korean army from retreating out of North Korea into China, and maybe stem the flow of
defectors
and refugees at that point than to roll in across the border into North Korea. Or that they could come across the border to control it, to keep the ROC and the U.S. Army from
Going into China.
too close to their border and making them uncomfortable.
Right.
Because let's face it, that would not be a comfortable situation for the Chinese.
No, not at all. If all of a sudden this huge allied group of forces comes at like knocking on the door, what's up, guys? This is your border. Oh, it'd be a shame if somebody stepped over it.
Yeah. Oh, so Johnny Fizz? Yeah, Johnny Fizz in the Mixer chat. That's an interesting point that China could back a coup.
Ooh.
That's an interesting thought.
I wonder though if any of the North Korean generals would be brave, like not just brave enough, but like dumb enough to where they're like, this could work.
This could work.
Right? You know, like I'm going to fucking throw over a dictatorship where the entire country has been brainwashed in thinking that this dude is a god.
Yep.
Good luck. You know, like but like in order to do that, you have to be dim-witted enough to really believe that it's going to work. And brave, like dim-witted enough to not be like fearful for your life if it does not work.
Right. And then so old web head in the mixed chat counters with a good point too, is why would they do it? What benefit do they get for backing a coup? And that's another side that have to be weighed. If something like that were to even be put into the planning stages of a coup of North Korea.
Yeah, and Kaz just said if there was a coup in North Korea, it would be bloodier than anything you have ever seen, which is true because if you think about it, if the coup was not successful and Kim Jong-un was not overthrown, they're like everyone's all like, oh, Donald Trump's crazy. No, let's step back. Like compare the two of them. Like Kim Jong-un is clinically certifiably insane. And it's true though. Like he fucking had his own brother killed.
Half brother.
Whatever. It's still a brother. Like he fucking had his own fucking brother. Again, brother, half brother, doesn't fucking matter. Still brother. He had his own fucking brother killed. Because reasons? He thought he was a threat to his fucking throne. And so if there was any sort of...
Just throne?
Yeah.
Is it made of iron?
Probably. It's probably made of fucking swords, too. We don't know. We don't know. We're not allowed in there. But no, so any sort of failed coup attempt on Kim Jong-un would be met with such a harsh retaliation. You know, like he would go after everyone who was part of it and their families and probably the extended families. Just to make sure that he gets the message across to everybody in the country, do not fuck with me. You know? I mean, they gunned down people trying to get out of their country. Like that poor soldier who fucking defected and was like, fuck you guys, I'm out. They fucking gunned him down. Huh?
He made it.
I know he made it, but like he's one of how many who have tried to defect and have been gunned down?
Oh.
You know, like and like people think our border's fucking harsh? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Like you can fucking leave if you want. No one's stopping you from leaving. You go to some countries, North Korea, if you try to fucking leave, they kill you. But
right.
Yet,
so we dealt with something like that as well.
I mean, I guess.
the old East and West Berlin and West and East Germany, where the Russians would shoot people trying to leave.
Yeah, no. When I was stationed in Germany, I went to Berlin. I saw the fucking wall, and I heard all the stories of how people would try to get over the wall or under the wall, like from east to get into West Berlin, you know, and how everyone who is trying to get over to the west, each method that they used, each successful method was never duplicated. And so like they'd have to come up with new ways to do it. And it was just shocking. And then like, you know, and they still have all these murals up from, you know, the communist era of, you know, the people all happy to be in communism. And you see the same artwork in North Korea.
Yep.
And it's like, you know, if that were the case, then why are so many people dying trying to get the fuck out?
So John Owl said he was in Germany during the Cold War. My question to you, John, is, did you ever witness anything like that while you were there? Because you hear stories about it all the time, you know, people being shot trying to escape East Germany and East Berlin, you know, infamous Checkpoint Charlie and all this other stuff.
I was there too. I went there too.
So it's just, man, it's really hard to fathom what we would do if push came to shove with North Korea. So he said he was not stationed in Berlin, but was there when attempts were made. There were so few. Okay, so that would be the take. I would like to, you know, maybe we can work this into, if this continues, is to get somebody who might have been stationed there during that part of their career, to see what had happened. If they ever witnessed anything like that, because it's the same concept, same thing. And I don't know what it is. If somebody wants, out, why do you want to, why do you want to keep them? Right. That's the big question, is why do you want to keep them? And two, you don't want them to leave so bad that you're willing to shoot them as they're leaving.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, what is the goal? But I mean, if you think about it, right? Good night, Doc. What is the goal of communism if not to spread communism around the globe and just have a globalist communist civilization? I guess would be the correct term for it, because if it's communism, is it really government? I don't know. But you know, the goal of communism is more communism and
control
and so every communist country has tried to portray communism as the best that there is, that it is the best thing since sliced bread, that it's fucking awesome and everybody's happy. Well, having people leave and defect and being like, fuck no, like, get me out of here, that goes against the narrative. And therefore, that makes communism look bad. And they can't have communism look bad if they're trying to get it, like, global wide, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think that's why they go out and kill defectors, because these people are giving communism a bad name, which is unacceptable. Because again, like, you know, and then it turns into, like, you know, 1984, where the thought police come after you and Big Brother's watching, and, you know, like to me, that's what communism is 1984. And, you know, there is no one but Big Brother, and, like, you will do as he says.
I'm going to slaughter his name, so I'll just call him Alex in the Facebook live chat. He's got a good point. You can catch more flies with honey, but you hold somebody's attention at gunpoint.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good point.
Yeah. Oh my God, great call.
Yeah. But it's very interesting, and it's really, yeah. So Asian Cartman, hooray for Asian Cartman!
Hooray!
Asian Cartman. Yeah,
Oh my
he's
goodness.
He's
Hello,
the bestest.
Spencer.
Not really.
Right. Hello, Spencer. How are you? Sup, Minx? What up, yo?
Oh man.
But yeah. Oh.
Go ahead.
I know, right? So, a Libyan militant who was convicted Tuesday of terrorism charges from the 2012 Benghazi attacks was found not guilty of murder today.
I saw that.
Yes.
That's a interesting. It's interesting that he would not be found guilty of murder.
Right? Considering he helped plan
Yeah.
these attacks. But I mean, I guess in a roundabout way, was he one of the guys pulling the triggers? Technically, no. Was he the mastermind behind this? Yeah.
Possibly.
Well,
According to the jury.
according to the jury was. So I guess in a roundabout way, did he personally commit murder during the attacks? Technically, no.
Man.
So I mean, you know, I can see where they get this from. I don't agree with it at all, but I can see where they're getting it from. But CIA Director Mike Pompeo said that today, as a small measure of justice was meted out. It took intelligence to find him, soldiers to assist in capturing him, law enforcement to interview him, and a legal team to put him away. Katala's sentencing is to follow, but no term in prison will bring our people back.
It's true.
Yeah.
So, but it does provide some closure.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that I want to bring up. As we're getting ready to go into December here, Wreaths Across America is coming.
Oh, that's right.
The National Wreaths Across America Day is December 16th of this year, and it's something that I've always liked to donate to. So it's they always need donations, guys. Just find a wreath, donate a wreath, go to their page, and I think they're always looking for volunteers to help out and go lay them across 1,300 different national cemeteries in the U.S. So that's it. I just want to throw that out there quick because that's something I really believe in. The quote in there is, a person dies twice, once when they take their final breath, and later is the last time their name is spoken. Yeah. So there's that. I saw something that they're advertising in an article that they're advertising this Saturday, December 16th of this year, is the reset in Arlington National Cemetery.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna go?
No, I'll be in class that day.
I mean, just play hooky.
Yeah, because that goes over so well.
Just do it. It's college. Nobody gives a shit. Just call in and be like, I've got the black lung, and then just go. It's fine. It's fine. Right? But yeah, no, Spencer brings up a great point. Hillary paid for this dude's attorney. That's probably why he got off.
Oh, come on. What?
Yes. Oh my God, Spencer. Yes.
Tinfoil hats. Here we go.
Yes.
No tinfoil hats.
But it's probably true. Anyways, right? What does he know about Hillary?
Shoe size? I don't know.
So the African Union has allegedly expressed outrage after footage emerged appearing to show sub-Saharan migrants being sold at slave markets in Libya. Wait, it's not happening here in America? It's not the white man doing it? What? Outrage. Outrage. So on the video released by CNN, fake news, this week, young men are being seen auctioned off as farm workers, which, is how they get away without calling them slaves, right? Oh, these are farm workers. And then they go to auction like cattle. That's terrible. So the African Union chairman, President Alpha Conde of Guinea, demanded prosecutions over a despicable trade from another era. Migrants trying to reach Europe have spoken of being held by smugglers and forced to work for little or no money. The footage released by CNN appears to show youths from Niger and other sub-Saharan countries being sold to buyers for about $400 at undisclosed locations in Libya. These modern slavery practices must end, and the African Union will use all the tools at its disposal, Mr. Conde said. Libya has opened an investigation into the practice, according to CNN. In April, the International Organization of Migration said it had gathered evidence of slavery in Libya. So why is nothing being done about it until now, if they discovered this shit in April? The International Organization for Immigration's chief of mission for Libya, Othman, I can't pronounce his last name, told the BBC at the time that migrants were priced according to their abilities. Quote, apparently they don't have money and their families cannot pay the ransom, so they are being sold to get at least a minimum benefit from it, he said. The price is definitely different depending on your qualifications. For example, if you can do painting or tiles or some specialized work, then the price gets higher.
Interesting.
Right? I want to know I do want to know why, if it was first discovered in April, why it's taken until November to come out. Like, this is a big deal, right? Like, everyone and their goddamn mother knows that slavery is wrong. Slavery is bad. Slavery should not be happening in 2017. A lot of people in this country believe that they deserve reparations because some obscure ancestor might have been a slave at one point in time in this country, which, whatever. Whatever. But it's like, so, like, let's focus on where the real problem is right now, which is not in America.
Yeah. Because, redirection.
Right.
Oh, so speaking of fake news.
No, fake news.
Liberal CNN publishes column asking to ban the term fake news.
No.
How do you ban a term?
Right, that goes against my First Amendment rights of freedom of speech.
Something like that.
Right? You're trying to ban the Constitution. Suck a dick.
In an opinion piece on the cable news network website Sunday, writers Hossein Turkashan.
Oh, yeah. See? How do you like them apples?
Claire Wardell called for scrapping the term President Trump has made synonymous with CNN. The duo wrote that the use of the term fake news is quote, not only self-defeating, it oversimplifies a very complex problem, and it devalues the expression that has become meaningless over the past year.
I love how Branko yells out in the fucking Facebook live chat, fake news! Fake news! I agree, Branko. It is fake news because it's CNN.
This is used to describe any piece of information that someone else didn't like or has become weaponized by politician.
Weaponized?
Wow, not writing this very well. Darkashan and Wardle wrote, adding the term should be used when referring to clearly false content, such as the viral photo of a shark swimming up a Texas highway during Hurricane Harvey. Spoiler alert, the photo wasn't real.
Wait, what?
Recently co-authored a report,
Fake news!
Information Disorder, which was commissioned by the Council of Europe. They claim the problem exists all over the world, but most Americans likely associate fake news with CNN thanks to President Trump's.
Well, I mean, there's a reason for it. There's a reason why. Oh, speaking of another fake news agency.
What?
BuzzFeed. Because, they are a reliable source, right? Well, no. Okay, so this article is not from BuzzFeed, but first reports of this shit going on was given to BuzzFeed. And they didn't do shit about it, which kind of implies them as being like part of the guilty party. Because, objectifying women is all fine and dandy as long as you're on the fucking left side of the political spectrum. Am I right, Harvey? So nearly, right? I'm Bill Clinton.
Now,
sorry.
It's funny because Nancy Pelosi did a lot of backpedaling in the last few days.
That's true. She did.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, that crypt keeper just needs to go away. Like,
well, there's that too. Yeah.
She's the crypt keeper.
Yeah.
So nearly 200 women. So more than 180 women have alleged they were sexually assaulted by therapists at different Massage Envy chains, with almost 1,200 locations around the country, according to a report in BuzzFeed. So the company has been charged with knowing about the abuse and not doing much, if anything, about it. The company told USA Today that the incidents were, quote, heartbreaking, and said they occurred over a period of 15 years among 125 million massages. It doesn't matter how many it doesn't matter the percentage. The fact that if you fucking knew that this was going on and you just kind of kept it hush hush, shame on you.
Mm-hmm.
So in Washington, D.C., a woman came forward and said that she was getting a massage at the Massage Envy in Lanham, Maryland. Did I say that right?
Oh, no.
Oh, sorry. On September 17th, when therapist Habtamu began performing oral sex on her against her will.
What? What the?
So Woodley, who appeared before reporters with her attorney and her husband, oh, that's awkward, said that she immediately ended the massage and called the police. She said the therapist got on his knees, took her left hand, and begged her not to tell anyone. Habtamu was charged with first-degree sexual abuse of a patient or client and is still in jail. Habtamu has been charged with at least 3 other incidences of sexual assault against women customers. Woodley has filed a $25 million suit against Massage Envy, according to the company, for covering up sexual assaults. She said she spoke up because so many other women began saying that similar things happened to them at other Massage Envy locations. Habtamu has been charged in at least 3 other, like I said, he's been charged in at least 3 other incidences. This is ridiculous.
How is he still employed?
Right?
I think she's going to win, especially if...
Oh my God, no. Of course she's going to win that $25 million. As right she should, especially considering if they knew about his history of assaulting his patients or clients, because you're considered technically a patient because I've been to these places, like you have to fill out like a fucking 10 pages of paper in order to get a fucking and you're like, I just want a back massage. Like, why do you need to know how much exercise I do? Like, none.
Like,
right? You don't get a body like mine if you exercise. Like, just saying that. No, but right? Exactly, Spanky. Like, excuse me, what are you doing? Like, this is not how you get a tip. Get out of me. This is not how it works. But like, and then especially, but like, I want to know why nobody else, like, what is it with people not wanting to come forward until years later?
So it's funny you bring that up, because why, years later, all this stuff is starting to come out now as well with everybody else, all these centers and whatnot. And again, I bring it up, is when will we start to see this hit the senior ranks of the military? I mean, it's going to happen. It's coming.
Oh yeah.
It's going to start. The fallout in the senior ranks throughout the DOD is probably going to happen. And then all of a sudden, all these individuals are going to start coming out of the woodwork, like, in droves, like it happens with everybody. Like one person.
Wait, what?
Afraid it's gonna.
Are you okay? Did you die?
Who?
You.
No,
like,
why?
I don't know. Like, out of nowhere, it sounded like you emerged from underwater. It's like,
interesting,
right?
But no, I mean, I think it's gonna start happening in the DOD, that you'll start seeing all this, the same type of thing against these senior leaders and these senior officials.
I think we've already seen it though. When the DOD really started cracking down on Sharp, and when they revitalized that whole program, like, we've already seen that happen. A prime example, I'm fucking out processing out of the Army. CID calls me and they're like, we want to talk to you about something that happened, like, at not this duty station, but, your last one years ago. We want to talk to you about that because, he's already locked up right now, but he might be getting released. It's like, there's a reason why I didn't come forward, because I didn't want to deal, I didn't want to fucking deal with all the paperwork. I didn't want to fucking deal with the trial. I didn't want to fucking see him. Like, I just wanted that part of my life, closure. And so, I was stuck in CID for goddamn, 12 hours before they let me leave. And I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to press charges. I don't want to fucking do anything. And, they're like, no, but you talked about it, so now you have to tell us. And it's like, well, yeah, I talked about it because I don't, I'm trying to get closure, and, the best way for me to do that is to fucking talk about it. I don't want to talk about it with you guys, though, because you're going to fucking turn it into investigation. There's nothing to investigate because any sort of evidence is fucking gone, because, again, this is, 5 years ago, so why are we here right now? It's bad. It's I'm fucking get out of the Army in a week. Why am I here? But we've already seen this push along DOD and in the military. We've already seen it. Whether or not it gets worse, that's a different story. But we've already seen where these commanders and these sergeant majors are being now, these accusations get thrown out against them, and we've seen them being under investigation. We see them being we've seen them being relieved from command, and or resigning their commission, or being forced to retire.
Right.
That's what normally happens when they get up into those senior levels. They're not really giving any sort of punishment. They're being told, you're going to retire now. And that's it. That's their punishment, which I don't agree with. You should not be safe from, and especially if the accusations are true. You shouldn't be safe from going through that trial or facing any sort of justice for what you did. Again, if the accusations are true, your rank does not protect you from what needs to happen. Like, I don't fucking care if you're a 2, 3, 4 star and you get knocked down a star and told, oh, we're going to have to retire you. Or even if you're a fucking full bird and you're knocked down to the lieutenant colonel. Or if you're a sergeant major with fucking 35 years in, your fucking rockers, that eagle and those stars, don't protect you from what needs to happen. And so I think that's where we might start seeing some more things happen, where people are no longer being slapped on the wrist and then, quietly retired.
Yeah, and the problem becomes, and this is what Congress tried to fix, is that the military protects its own when you get to that level. When you wear those, when you wear that bird and you get to those stars, or you get to that the eagle and stars inside your between your rockers and your chevrons.
Yep.
You start to be protected,
and that's where it's bullshit.
That's it. And that's what Congress wanted to remove. And those types of accusations and those trials go to the civilian justice system.
Yep. And the same thing goes with exactly what Robert brings up in Facebook Live. It's the same with, DUIs, where he had a command sergeant major of post get a DUI at the gate, and a week later he was allowed to retire with no repercussions. Except for being, all right, we need to get you out of the Army because this is a bad example, but you're allowed to keep all your rank and all your pensions, and you get honorable discharge. You just have to retire now. Go away.
Right, and then had that been a junior soldier?
Oh, yeah, prime example. I got, if E5 and below, not even E5s aren't even fucking safe anymore, but E5 and below, if you get busted with a fucking DUI, you're fucking nailed to the wall, But but back to sexual assaults though. But again, you have to be careful with these shady bitches who are gonna cry rape if things don't go their way, and that fucking happens too. So it's and that's something that, especially with what's going on in current society and how everyone and their fucking mother is coming out the goddamn woodworks oh, I've been harassed, I've been assaulted, and it was this guy, and it happened 30 years ago, but it happened. Well, again, if you've waited this long to say anything about it, why do you bring it up now? 1, and 2, how do we know you're not just hopping on the bandwagon? Because that's what it's almost turning into. It's everyone jump on the fucking sexual assault bandwagon. Who are we going to go after next? And it's the false accusations that, 1, ruin men's lives. If these accusations against a man are false, it completely ruins his life.
Yep.
And then on top of that, it just, now that woman who made those false accusations, any woman who comes up after her and who may have actually been assaulted, no one's going to believe her now. Because they're going to think oh, well, you're just saying that now because, she said it. And so Like that's just how it's gonna fucking go. And it's like these hookers who are out here doing these false accusations, like they're fucking it up for the rest of us who have been and want to report it, but they're fucking scared to because there's already like a hard enough time like coming forward with it because you don't know if anyone's gonna if anyone's gonna believe you. But then to come in after some hooker was just found like, you know, oh, you made up all these accusations. Like, now you're really not going to want to come forward because you're like, oh, now they're really not going to fucking believe me. Fucking. But yeah. That's our show.
That was our show. Ugh.
Gerald Stewart, you never called. I'm highly disappointed. Well, I'm not actually. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just.
No.
Apparently he was busy. Could talk all that smack online, but can't fucking back it up. I'm so tough behind my computer and my keyboard.
Well, there's a lot of people that are, but no, that was a good 3 hours tonight.
Right? Oh my God, Branko, that would be awesome. What would I do if you did that? I don't know, but I mean, I'd probably like cheer for you and be like, "Oh, that's awesome." But like, anything besides that, and again, if you missed it, I'm poor. I can't pay you shit for that. So I just moved. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, so as everyone knows, we have a show most nights of the week. The only day that we don't broadcast right now is Wednesday. So, but that's probably going to change here soon. But yeah, so tonight obviously is Tied Up Tuesday with myself, Minx, and normally you do see my very handsome co-host who had an epic beard but then decided to shave it off for No Shave November. Gray Cloud, like, bravo. Like, that's the opposite of No Shave November.
Meh.
Just throwing that out there. But normally you get to see him, but like I said, I just moved, and yeah, so I got to figure out these cables. Spencer, I love my new house. I love it. So then we've got Thursday, which is Sarge's time with Ice, Doc Madness, Mike Golf, and yeah, those guys. I was about to say Gray Cloud, but you're never on Thursdays anymore.
Yep, it's a travel day.
Right? And then we have Friday, which is Friday Night Freedom with myself, Minx, and Pookie. Saturday is Saturday Night Savagery with Jay Reddy and Pookie and Doc Madness. Sunday is the Green Room. We've got the Green Room going again. So that's with Kaz, Jason, and Charlie. Then we have the Monday edition with Ice and Flash. And then we're back to Tuesday. And so our next guest is going to be on this Saturday, the 2nd of September. Or, God, I can't read. 2nd of December.
Are you done with winter already?
What?
Is winter over?
I mean, it might be. Like, I see December, but then I saw Saturday, and so I put an S in front of shut up. This is how my brain works. Like, it's really difficult for me to, like, put thoughts out there. So Lois Fernandez, God damn it, from CONUS Battle Drills. So everyday veterans are getting out of the military and facing a world that we don't understand and that doesn't understand us. We are faced with challenges that we were completely unprepared for. Writing a resume, preparing for interviews, picking companies, translating our skills for a soft world where all things that we are not trained in. So CONUS Battle Drills is written by a combat veteran for combat veterans to help each other grow in the areas of corporate employment, fatherhood, being a husband, and taking care of your mental state. I don't pull punches. I'm not surgical in my approach. I will not coddle you, and I will not feel pity for you. You are fucking killers, survivors of the greatest fighting force humanity has ever known, and I will treat you as such. Sometimes, however, you guys need some guidance. That's why I created this page. And then on Monday, December 4th, Matt Saint Sing from CBS Radio's Connecting Vets is going to be on. And then Thursday, December 7th, we have Car Santa. So that's exciting. So Car Santa is from Cars for Heroes, is a nonprofit organization that provides free, reliable transportation to veterans and their families that otherwise are not able to obtain transportation for themselves. So that's awesome. So those are upcoming guests. And yeah, make sure to check out our partner, which is the Veterans Report. They're on Saturday. You'll notice us sharing their live stream as well. So make sure to check them out. And yeah, Grey Cloud, you got anything else?
I do not, Nation.
Right. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Well, everyone, have an outstanding rest of your Tuesday evening, and I cannot wait to see you again on Friday. So yeah, have a great rest of your week, you guys. See you on Thursday for Sergeant's Time.
Inside of all the guilt we try to hide, and I no longer have the will to drive all these promises for lies, and I will never give into all the shit that life has put on you. The past will stay where it will die and bring an end into this goddamn life. Giving up on you, but never giving up on me. Flies eat away at every day that's lost and left to rot away. And you're trails of panting emptiness. Your feelings for me will digress, and I will never give into all the shit that life has put on you. The past will stay where it will die and bring an end into this goddamn life. I've already given up on you, but never giving up on me. All the shit that life has put on you. The past will stay where it will die and bring an end into this goddamn life. I've already given up on you, but never give